The United States federal government's Computer Fraud and Abuse Act are laws that protect us from harm on an international scale, but there is a hole in its laws, a type of error that doesn't define the difference in permission or authority, or of help or harm. Well, what is the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, also known as the CFAA, and what is wrong with it for it to have said hole? But first, what is the CFAA really? From the understanding the bounds of the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act in the wake of Von Buren article, the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act 18 USC 1030, the CFAA, imposes criminal and civil liability on individuals who access computers without authorization or exceed authorized access. This should give us safety from present and future problems, but still iffy. Many people have been victims of computer crimes. Even I have been hacked myself. My college info was hacked into, and my social media was. I had to get tech support to help me, and such. But when the thought of computer abuse comes up, we think of scamming the elderly, hacking social media, or pirating movies and music. But there's a much more to it than that, where this simple emphasis error is critical for safety. A statement from Taryn Peter J.G. on the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. The government has used the CFAA to prosecute individuals for classic hacking offenses, such as defendants who hack into computers of government officials, universities, financial institutions, or commercial establishments in order to steal confidential government information, trade secrets, and credit card numbers. Unfortunately, this is just general hacking from back then. Now, technology has drastically changed. And don't you think so should the CFAA guidelines in order to keep up with the times? We need to improve the Act because of its extremely outdated nature, which cases its many issues, which in turn loses the trust that people have on the internet and even computers altogether. We need to revisualize what the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act is today. I will first begin with why we have the CFAA to begin with. The CFAA was originally made in 1986 when computers gave you 8-bit images and was basically a box of wires that with a screen that weighed up to 40 pounds. An upgrade was made in the 2000s, but computers still ran on Windows XP, and their power was 30 times slower than the computers of today, but people could still cause many issues. A quote from National Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers: the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, CFAA, was enacted in 1986 as an amendment to the first federal computer fraud law to address hacking. Over the years, it has been amended several times, most recently in 2008, to cover a broad range of conduct far beyond its original intent. For the longer time goes, the more technology advances we have, increasing the amount of computer crimes and different types of computer crimes. In only a decade, with computers skyrocketed from just credit card scams to messing with state traffic systems to federal systems. So what is the actual problem for this act? It was made to address computer crime all over the place. It was prohibited to access computers that they didn't have permission, but the CFAA didn't explain what exactly counts as permission. Was permission just having the password, or was it a vocal personal agreement? They didn't emphasize. So what did it cause with the change of computers from then to now? There was a dramatic increase in what someone can do with a computer. Anything from just standard cyberbullying to stealing who you are. Or not only stealing from you, but from even the bank you use, straight from their systems. A statement from Han Patrick J. Leahy, a U.S. Senator from the state of Vermont. I think of the days not many years ago when you worried about someone going to the bank and robbing a bank and maybe getting $20,000. They were mostly caught. Or looting a warehouse. now is a lot different. A study released today by Symantec Corporations estimates the cost of cyberbullying globally is 144 billion a year. In just the last few months, we have witnessed major data breaches at Sony, Epsilon, RSA, the International Monetary Fund, and Lockheed Martin, just to name a few. If they can steal all this, no one is safe from them until the error is fixed. Now, I'm not saying the CFAA is bad, rather, I'm saying the CFAA needs improvement. The Act is too broad, it's not specific enough, especially for the newer times like today and our times of technology. A statement from Government Technology: the Act prohibits obtaining information by accessing an internet connected device you don't have authority to use, or by going beyond the authorization you do have. But it's unclear what falls under the category of unauthorized or exceeding authorized access. And the law scope has grown. Again, the small hole just allows one to obtain a key and just go wild, just enough not to exceed access, but since he has the key, or rather permission, just by going through a type of maze of sorts. There are similar policies like Section 1030A4165, which means if you have the intent and profit from fraud up to 5,000, it is then illegal. What if you're not looking for profit? What if you're looking for something else, like information to blackmail, or just standard numbers? With something else, or the group policy objects, GPOs, that have multiple people managing a singular system. But who's protecting the computers of the administrators working on those systems? What's protecting them? What could fix it? Maybe update the intent and meaning of the CFAA so there's no question. This would fix the loophole due to lack of emphasis and protect those that help and punish those that harm appropriately. The main reason it hasn't been corrected yet is because it still lacks more information on protections, those that break the law, but not to harm, but to find and protect others from computer crimes. As from the Electrical Frontier Foundation, but its new policy, which is only an agreement for the Department of Justice to exercise restraint, falls short of protecting security researchers from overzealous threats, prosecutions, and the CFAA's disproportionately harsh sentences. We still need comprehensive legislative reform to address the harms of the dangerous law. As you can see, researchers that research on how to help us, they protect us, they find security measures, they prevent further breaches. Criminals, on the other hand, cybercrime, they steal and they profit from the info they gather. Identity theft, they cause problems. But guess what? Both of them, different intents, but they're both breaking the law due to this hole in the CFAA. It doesn't protect these that are trying to protect others appropriately. It's like hitting someone to protect someone else being hit and both being given an outrageous punishment. It doesn't work like it should. But even if the CFAA is improved, there are still those committing computer crime, anything from credit cards to entire identities. You can't find someone if searching is a crime. Now, these changes may not be looked at fondly, but some, if you can get in my computer, why not just take while you're at it? Or maybe you are confident that it's only these that have computers. So yes, that is true, but there are those that find and research ways around security and play around. But if they don't find it, how will they fix the problem and protect you in the process? And those that think you're safe because you don't use computers, your information is on federal systems and federal devices. If they can get into federal facilities, they can get your information and numbers just as easy. Still don't believe me? People have saved up to $2.5 million and lives just from research. But that doesn't compare to the $10.5 trillion lost due to it also breaking the law just to research in unauthorized places. And for those that think you're safe, there was the Office of Personal Management breach, the SolarWinds supply chain attack, cyber attacks on the Pentagon, and the Colossal Pipeline ransomware attack. No one is safe unless we fix this error in the CFAA. Now, how about we get working on this said metaphorical hole in the CFAA? If we fix the CFAA by just a few critical points, others would be able to work on protecting and improving security, and those that do harm can be found and get appropriate punishment. So when one day someone just takes your life, like your name, wealth, credit, respect, and pretty much your soul, you will know why and how they did it. But you still couldn't do anything to find them, all because of a lack of explanation or lack of emphasis on a certain definition. So how about we make a change, and good luck to those out there trying. Be safe.